Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today on Collection Lessons, I want to talk about the roll cycle. This is part of my Collection Lesson series, come out every Friday. Everything I say on this channel is not anything advice, and let's get into it. So, what I want to talk about in this roll cycle and in this video is basically I want to start, when you're just a tiny little kid, and you're happy, you're going to school, and let's start there. So you go to school, and what is school? It kind of looks like this at the building. It's got doors, windows, just like any other building, right? And what do you do at this school? Well, from kindergarten to grade 12 or whichever in your country, and we have it here. You learn about things, right? You learn about math and English, and you learn how to speak, and you learn how things kind of work. Most things, anyway. And you go to this school. Pretty much, usually, I think when I went to school, I think it was pretty much 9 to 3:30 or so, like that, right? And at the school, it's 9 to 3:30. You don't make money, right? People pay their taxes or whichever, how school is paid for, or you pay school, your parents pay school, whichever. You go there and you get education, right? They call it education. So what is this actually doing? Well, when you go to school, you also learn. You have gym. Let's say you have recess, right? Recess. And what do you have recess? Recess is usually 15 minutes in the morning. Sometimes, it's 15 minutes in the afternoon. You have a lunch, right? And what do you do at lunch? Well, usually it's like 1 hour lunch or whichever, like this, right? That sounds normal, right? You get out. Sometimes you get, you don't finish on time, or the teacher, gives you more work, right? When you're in these grades and such, and you got to do, like, especially in the later grades, you gotta do homework, right? Homework isn't fun, so we'll just put homework over here. Homework, right? Sometimes you gotta do homework, after hours, because, you can't do it in the hours because it's impossible, or, people learn at different rates, which is fine. But you get homework, and homework, you do for, let's say, 2 hours a night, sometimes, especially in the later ones. And that's basically it. And then once you're done this, you pretty much have two decisions. You either after this, you either go to a job, right, straight to a job, or you take post-secondary or university or college, right? So we'll just call it college. And then what do you do at college? Well, you pay money again, right? Just like, somebody paid the school up here, the teachers. That's either taxes usually, or, your parents or whatever. But you pay money. This is a great symbol. And then, you pay money to go to college. What do you do at college? Well, you go there from 9 to 5 or whichever, right? You have breaks, right? Just the same as normal. 15-15, let's say, or, 5 minutes in between each class. I remember that, type of thing. You usually have a 1 hour lunch, just like normal up here, right? And usually, especially, like, I know in my second year of college or university or whichever you want to call that, I was basically, I remember, waking up at 7 in the morning and being there till 10 p.m. Because, they only teach between these times or whatever, but there's so much schooling. It's usually really, like, intense schooling, intense whatever. What is it actually training for? I'm not sure. But really, what is this? This is basically your homework, right? So same as before, just put home. This is your homework, same as usual. Then what do you do? Then, you go to get a job, just like the other person, right? So this is the job land. What do you do at the job land? Well, usually work 9 to 5. 15-minute breaks in the morning, 15-minute breaks in the evening with a 1 hour lunch. That sounds familiar. That's what you're used to, right? And then hopefully you make some money, that especially if you make enough money to pay off this, because usually you took a loan or financing. Sometimes there's grants or whatever, that's great, or your parents paid for it. But this is what your life looks like. And what do you do after a job? Well, the whole point of a job is, people say that retirement's an age, that you get to 65 and you can retire, right? That's usually what people want, is 65, retire. So you're working at this job to hopefully you fill up your RSPs or whatever you have in your country, your pension. Don't look at that. Pension. right? You have different systems in place. I know in Canada we have different systems. I'm not sure what some people call them. I'll go into another video about those, but that's the whole point of your job, right? So the whole point of school is to get education, right? Education's great. Education. That's the whole point of the schooling. That's an N. And then from the education, you either go straight into a job or you go get more education. And then you get to the job. So the point of education is to go to a job in the end. And the point of the job is to go to retirement. That's the cycle, right? We go from education to job to retire. Sometimes we go education to job to education to job to retire. Some people don't even make it to retirement, unfortunately. But the whole point of a job, the whole purpose of a job is to retire. That's the only function of a job, right? Sure, yeah, you might improve the world, you might do things to help other people in your job. That's normal, right? But if you think of the cycle that you've been in since kindergarten, right? You go there from 9 to 3:30. You have a 15-minute break. 15-minute break. People call them recess in elementary. You have a lunch hour, right? Then you go to college. It's pretty much the same. 9 to 5. You have 15-minute break or 5-minute breaks in between. You have an hour lunch. Then you have this. People work here 9 to 5, right? Just like I mentioned. And sometimes there's overtime, right? Which you hopefully get paid for your overtime. Some people on salary don't get paid for their overtime. So what is that? That sounds a lot like homework, right? Unpaid time that you should have to yourself or to live life, but because you went to college or whichever, you got education, you got more homework, or you learn at a different rate, or the teacher just pounds on the homework. It's unpaid time. Unpaid if you're on salary. Hopefully you got overtime, but is overtime forced? Is it mandatory? Is it not? I'm not sure. What's your job like? And hopefully you fill in these little pools of money, we'll call it, with enough money. Maybe you invest on the side, right? Maybe most people don't. That hopefully when you get to a certain age, it's not somehow normal to retire early, in your 30s, 40s, whatever. But people think retirement's an age, when retirement is just the next step after a job, right? Retirement is when all of these are filled to the max that you can live, hopefully, to 100 or something, to another age or whichever, that, all these investments of sorts pay for your living expenses, right? Your normal living expenses, your car, your house, your heat, your whatever, so that you can live. This is a cycle that people don't understand, that they're a part of this system, right? What is, kindergarten to grade 12 educating you to do? It's educating you to, this is normal. These are normal. Your 15-minute breaks, the lunch hour is normal. And so is college, 15-minute breaks. So is your job, 15-minute breaks, 15-minute break, an hour. It's all the same cycle. We're stuck in this loop of education to job to retirement, to have kids that go into education, to get a job, that retire, to go have kids, to get an education, to get a job, to retire, to go have kids. So if you don't have kids or you don't want kids, that's fine too. But the whole point is to go like this, to this, to this, and keep continuing this loop. When do you break the loop? When do you change your legacy? That's what I wanted to share in this video, is people are stuck in this roll cycle, and I just want out of it. I just don't want to be stuck in this loop. Education, job, retire, education, job. I want to build something for the future so that my kids don't have to, sure, they can go to education or get education from somewhere else, somewhere that teaches them, about money, someone that teaches them about the value of, family, something that teaches them all these things, because some things are missing in these, K-12s, or some ththings are missing in the college experience or whichever. Some things are missing in your job, So I want to share that in this video, the roll cycle, I call it, where, you start here and you get trained that this, 9 to 5 is normal, and this 9 to 5 is normal, and then you go here, and then that's the end goal, and hopefully you make it, and then you don't have to do this cycle anymore. It can be done at a different time. It can be done in your 30s. It can be done whenever, as long as your investments or your business or whichever you want to call it pay for your living lifestyle. So that's it for this video. Thanks, and talk soon.